audience of Critical Thoughts. We've come to you before, our fellow Americans, to let you know fake news, the fakest news. We're here. You can believe it. It's the fakest news possible. Ask anyone. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to Critical Thoughts. I'm your host, Braxton Smith, and joining me is professional Trump impersonator, Jake Bird. Today is the 27th of October, 2018, and today we're here to talk to everyone about the MAGA Bomber. Now, obviously we posted a little bit about it earlier before we identified the MAGA Bomber. I guess that's what we're calling him anyways. He's kind of a fake bomber if you ask me, but...
Or as CNN would put it, just another Trump supporter.
Yeah, basically. So, as you saw, though, with our last post, though, we were showing where CNN had actually received a package from the MAGA Bomber, and how it was clearly one of the worst attempts I'd ever seen. It's some Wile E. Coyote content there. It just looked like a couple of firework mortars that had been taped in with electric tape onto a like toilet paper tubes with an alarm clock on there. It's totally a joke, and obviously whoever opened the package thought the same thing, because they didn't call their first reaction wasn't to run out of the house or call the bomb squad. It was to take a picture and upload to show all their friends on Facebook how silly this thing looked. So yeah, we're just gonna reveal all the holes in this whole bombing deal and red flags we've seen with it. And Jake, did you want to talk about? I guess you're kind of a little more skeptical of my skepticism.
Well, let's go ahead and present it out though, and I'll bring the reason and the actual intelligence to the discussion afterwards.
Okay, fair enough. So I think it's important first that we reveal a slideshow. So are you ready to do the slideshow? I've got the accompanying music. I guess you're going to do the slideshow, right? Okay, here we go. All right, first we have the pipe bomb that we're talking about that CNN found. I mean, this is a clown show. This is why we're playing the music, by the way. So, as you can see, the little mortars going on there on either end, the firework mortars, electric tape with some really coarse, fake-ass wires going to what appears to be an alarm
red
clock.
Wire. That's how you know it's a real bomb. Ooh, red wire.
Yeah, basically. That's the one you want to cut if you want to disarm this bomb. Alright, moving on to the next picture. This is just total shenanigans. Alright, so here we go. Oh, CNN just happens to arrive there on the scene. Or, no, this is CBSN. CBSN arriving just in time, right when the FBI showed up even, for the covering with the tarp. So they're going to cover the evidence before anybody could see it, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. It's just convenient that the news happens to be there right when the FBI gets there. It's like, how did they get that slip? I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Oh, look, we got brand new stickers slapped onto a brand new vehicle. Looks like stickers covering up at least 95% of the view in that vehicle. Just think about the time that I put tinting on my vehicle and it covered up. It was like, what is it, 30% tinting. If I try to put 40% on there, I'd probably be yanked out of my vehicle and beaten half to death. This guy obstructs 95% of his view, and not a single ticket. It's almost like he put it on there yesterday. Convenient. So, anyways, yeah, there's just a few holes that we've seen in it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop music. It's kind of distracting, I guess. It's just a clown show to me. It's so perfectly, neatly packaged. They already had like all the pictures laid out. It's almost like they had like on a floppy disk or a flash drive now. This is the MAGA Bomber. We're just going to go ahead and plug this into our computer and perfectly upload this neatly packaged how this guy is a Trump supporter and you should hate him. It's straight out of Saul Alinsky's playbook. You know, we've seen time and again from the left, you know, between the shootings and the shootings and the shootings from the left, talking about the where the senators are being shot at, talking about the Vegas shooting. That got swept under the rug, that to be brought up again later. Time and again, you have these incidents only to be encouraged by Maxine Waters going out and saying, yeah, we need to get in their face. Hillary Clinton saying there can't be peace as long as there are Republicans in office. So we see this time and again, and then all of a sudden, they keep provoking us, and they can't get a reaction out of us. So they keep stabbing and poking the bear, but for some reason this conservative bear just won't wake up and maul these people. So straight out of Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals books, they construct and fabricate their own incident. Trump has driven these people so crazy that they have to mail themselves their own bombs. And I'm wondering, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, should this guy, okay, they found the guy, should he even be convicted of anything? Because it's clearly a gag. This guy clearly had, how insane do you have to be to think that you were going to do any damage with a couple of firework mortars? Really. All right, I'm ranting. Jake, interrupt me here.
Yeah. Well, I can see your point with how it lines up. Here's Crazy Van, but I guess the one thing I want to bring up, part of it is going to be with always. Anyways, part of this is also going to be, we're in the age now of social media. If people are in enough of a panic with their phones attached, if you say, oh, there's this, there's supposed to be this suspicious thing going on anywhere around there, I'm sure there's some apartment building there, right? There's going to be someone going oh my gosh, is that evil racist Trump supporter out there? Is that the white van? The photos are going to fly that way.
It's pretty damn convenient that this is all orchestrated right around the election time.
Okay, they're using that leading word, orchestrated. I will, as for the length I'm willing to go with the conspiracy talk is the bomb you showed. That looks completely staged to me. I didn't see any postmarks unless, the old post office with their tricky invisible ink, trying to do something there. And, I made the comment before, it's that doesn't even look like that's supposed to be an actual iPhone or something. It looks like a PDA, like they went to some closed Radio Shack and raided it or something, or some old electronics. But,
so you can tell it was a boomer that made that.
You can sell me on that one. I don't think there's any rational person that would, if they believed that was an actual bomb, would just sit there, take the picture, and then notify the cops. I don't even think they would open the package since, this started, I believe, maybe around the 16th or 17th with Soros, I think is when the first bomb was found.
Yeah, they were all within days of each other, but Soros was the first one, allegedly.
Yeah, so, that you got me sold. The hype up, obviously, with CNN. You got the Cuomo brothers, news anchor Cuomo interviewing Governor Cuomo, and he's like, we all sat there, and it was this pause, 9/11, and, this isn't just political terrorism. There needs to be a new word for it. This is American terrorism. This is red versus blue terrorism. We've never seen this before. And it's like you said, we've got the shootings. Timothy McVeigh. Anyone remember Oklahoma bombing? That was politically motivated.
Yeah, those bombs actually went off. Unlike this guy's 11 bombs that somehow made it throughout the whole nation. One of them didn't get mailed. We got to assume the other ones were, but then again, I wonder how the hell that made it through the USPS. Because they're pretty... I got to wonder about that.
Yeah, well, that's
I think there's more than one person involved.
Sold on this one bomb. There's supposed to be 10 to 13 of them. that we know of, at least that he's been charged with. Haven't seen any photos of those. Maybe they actually came in boxes instead of, rinky-dink paper and plastic insulation and stuff, But, you got me sold on that. You've got me sold on, CNN, of course, is going to play it up. They're going to try to use it to their advantage. That's politics 101, especially in this highly politicized environment. I'm not for sure about the other ones, and I'm not for sure exactly if this is, a false flag fall guy or not, or if he's just, a crazy person. I mean,
yeah. That's what I can't figure out. Is he a patsy? Is he like a subject of MK Ultra, or is he just some random wacko out there that it seems to me that anybody that made it to that age, like what is he, 50 something? How do you make it to be that age and send that? Like, what was his intention with sending? That's the biggest question. Like, knocking all silliness aside, like legitimate. What was his intention? Because if those other bombs looked anything like that one, he clearly wasn't trying to hurt anybody. Because not in a million years would anyone with an IQ above 10 would think that that's going to hurt somebody.
Well, you're also trying to make the assumption that, he's a completely sane person. I've seen an account from the Washington Post, that they talked with some of his family members who were Democrats and stuff, and he was a pizza delivery person. They talked to his boss and some of his co-workers and stuff, and he seemed to have this bravado he was trying to build. He tried to say he used to be a Chippendales dancer. He tried to say he used to be all these weird things. I don't know if he was trying to be just narcissistic, or if there was any mental illness in his head. I've had family members with mental illness, and sometimes they do things that don't make sense. If you know where they're coming from, you might be able to find a train of thought. Is this I'm supporting Trump, and I want that. If they keep trying to harass him like they're doing, it's going to be a big bomb in their face kind of thing. That could be a message. You could have thought that he was actually making legitimate bombs, but he's wackadoodles, and, we got the little kindergarten art project. I don't know.
It does appear to be the work of a 5-year-old.
We're not even, maybe a full day since he was actually arrested, and people are trying to automatically claim, he's just another Trump supporter. This is what you get with Trump inciting people, all the show pony stuff for politics.
Yeah, because they've constantly made the claim, the left has constantly made the claim that the right is violent. The right does nothing but attack people. They're fascists, they're Nazis, they're crazy, unhinged. Basically projecting. They're describing themselves. But they have no evidence to back it up. There is nothing the right has done since the election 2 years ago to back up any of those claims until now, conveniently. So that's the reason why I think it was orchestrated. At the very least, this is overblown completely. It just doesn't have a leg to stand on. It's clearly a joke. It's clearly propaganda to demonize the right.
Well, yeah, the propaganda, the bloviating, yeah, that doesn't have a leg to stand on and everything. But I also want to bring up kind of 2 points. The saying is, when there's smoke, there's fire. But especially us, when it came to the cyber realm and stuff, we've been really concerned with people that are generally left, like Facebook CEOs and Twitter CEOs, wanting to shadow ban people and knock them off the list. Yeah. We see that going on. We've been in that fire, and sometimes when you walk out to the rest of the world, your eyes are still watery, and your nose and mouth are still full with smoke and ash, and we gotta clear that out. Again, you got me on two things because they seem pretty upfront to me. The rest of it, I'm not willing to go quite down the false flag route, but it's definitely overemphasized. And then the other thing, to continue the analogy, okay, we've got a fire here, we've got an incident. Is it like you were saying? Is it a natural incident? Is it just some wackadoodle and he just went off? Is it an arson, right? Is it an organized event that people plan this, or is this serial arson, right? Is this is this a pattern of all the other times something has happened culminating to this, right? And we don't have enough to determine that right now.
Yeah, and getting back to a more level head, I gotta wonder, this is obviously a distraction too. This is something that's been, like I said, blown completely out of proportion. If you actually look at it, it is just a total joke, which again is why we played the slideshow with the gag music. So I gotta wonder, they basically have, hey, eyes on this hand, eyes on this hand. Meanwhile, the other hand is covering up the failure of the blue wave. The poles have been shifting. The blue wave's not happening. You had that huge migrant crisis heading our way. You have all these issues that are coming from the left that I believe they're trying to hide up, cover up right now. Cover up the fact that their side has been so violent, the fact that their polls are going sideways, the whole migrant crisis. It's kind of vindicating a lot of what Trump has been saying. Really, to me, it just seems like it was all like this is just another distraction. And I gotta wonder what else is it being distracted. There's some other things like right now I can't even think of because I'm just so fixated on this damn bomb, this fake ass bomb. I've completely forgotten probably 3 or 4 other things I was gonna mention just then about things that we should actually be concerning ourselves with that is happening right now. So that's what I think it is. I think it's just a distraction.
Well, I obviously, from CNN's perspective, I don't even think it's just a distraction. I think they're concerned not of just a blue wave failing, but a sustained red wave. And so it's like, what can we do to kind of break that momentum? What can we do to make it seem like they are morally insufficient, or we seem just, or these far extreme versions of us. Well, I'll give them a little bit of credit. These far extreme versions of us, they're responding. They're not just being extreme. They're reacting to something, and this is like bringing it out, into the open, right? In the case with Kavanaugh, you saw a lot of comments of the inner predator, and that's why you're empathizing with him. Well, here's another case of the inner predator coming out or something.
Yeah, they got to orchestrate whatever they can. I don't know, man. I ain't got really anything else for this, so want to give a closing statements?
Pretty much, we still don't have a lot of the information yet. Too much politicizing going around. Don't get swept up in it, including, I guess, the right side, right? If the other side is already doing this victim mentality kind of thing, we don't need to fall into that. The whole purpose of following truth is to reduce error and misinformation, because if you start getting even just a little bit off course, you can propagate it. And we don't want to propagate. We want clarity. We want truth. And, just keep going and ignore the fake news. Fake news.
Yeah, I will say, just to comment out on that, I will say that we've kind of seen a pattern happening lately where, it's just like one insidious thing after another. It's one little plot after another, like we saw with the character assassination of Roy Moore we were talking about before we actually went live. The fact that they assassinated his character to sweep up a win. And then like as soon as the bug man got his win, Roy Moore was just, all the charges were dropped on him. Nobody gave a shit at that point because they got what they wanted. And then now, actually, that was another thing I was thinking they're trying to cover up, was the fact that Stormy Daniels was retracting a lot of her statements that was said about Trump, dropping all charges against Trump. And, all that gets swept under the rug. All that gets forgotten once the deed's been done. We just see time and again these attacks happening on Brett Kavanaugh. Now that he's a justice, well, there's no battlegrounds to be won. Let's just go ahead and walk away from that. It's all these insidious things that the Democrats keep doing, like the violent ones I've named off: Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Maxine Waters. Those are the ones I'm just like fixated on. And time and again, like, oh wow, half of those people, 2/3, actually I think all 3 of them were people that got the bomb somehow or another. Convenient, right? So it's like anytime I hear their names, I'm just like something dubious is happening. Like they're very treacherous people. I expect them to keep this trend up. Anytime their names are involved, I can expect that they're doing something nefarious to try and get into taking away my rights or I don't know, furthering their agenda. It's always something with them. So that's kind of why I fall down that rabbit hole, if you will, because it's like anybody can say anything about them at this point, and I'll believe it, because I've heard the craziest things and thought they were crazy, and then only to find out, no, they're absolutely true. These people are demonic. Like, it's like, what do you do? So that's why I'm falling towards it, but
can't trust the lizard people.
No, you can't. They're soul-sucking vampires.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I'll believe they'll try to take any instance and try to squeeze blood out of a rock. But that's the thing. Just because they are opportunistic and they will try to take things to their advantage, doesn't mean that under all their BS there might not still be some grain of truth, some gold nugget. And a lot of times with these conspiracy theories or conspiracy theorists, they'll just completely ignore everything and just keep going on their own path, right? If there's any inconsistencies, they need to be addressed, and you can't just let them cloud your judgment. You can't let them be you can't be the bull and let them be the matador with the flag guiding you with your own anger and aggression. You gotta be in control, right? Emotions should inform your judgment. They shouldn't dictate your judgment.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. It's a lot harder to actually practice than it is to preach, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, that's all we got for today. Thank you for tapping into Critical Thoughts, breaking through the white noise, bringing the media that matters.